And one of the things I've learned is whenever I have a moment of inspiration, I put it in notes.
Yeah, you do.
And
you do.
Because you have something that comes to you in that moment and you think you'll remember it, but you may not. But also, I love remembering the moment. And it allows me almost like to go back to the original well of thought, and it allows me to begin to allow my creative juices to flow again, you know. And I think it's true across the board. It's just, even when we talk about Easter, I want to maybe close with this. Like, the best way for me to prepare to speak on Easter Sunday is to remember when I first was encountered with the reality of Jesus and when I experienced my life being changed by him. Because then I'm not writing a new message or writing a message that is objective or separate from me. I'm really telling my story and connecting it to this moment. And I think it's so important to always go back to primary source. And when you're talking about God and you're talking about who Jesus, when you're talking about faith, if you don't have a primary source in your soul, the message is always going to fall flat.
I love that. And you came in today and you were like, man, we should have shot this piece of content. I like wrote my talk with Joe yesterday inside the building, and me and us were like, why didn't you call us? We were one room over. Like, we would have filmed the whole thing. We could have released it to the world. So maybe one day you'll grace us. You'll gift us your process. Because I've asked you so many times, just let me put a camera on you and just like do it, like show the thought process, show
but you don't know when the magic's going to happen. Like I said, Joe, come on with me. And I grabbed him and we went to the auditorium and the giant white space that we have there as a screen.
Yeah.
And so I said, all right, Joe, look at the screen. And I said, now, this is what I need you to see. He goes, there are 5 words up there that we're going to use in our talk, but I don't know what those 5 words are yet. And I said, help me find the 5 words. And so he starts working on sentences, but they're like, no, Joe, that's 7 words. No, Joe, that's 9 words. No, that's 8 words. And we just kept working. And then as we're kind of like brainstorming, I saw it. I said, no, Joe, I think this is it. Should I say it?
Yeah, say it.
Yeah. Life comes out of death. So those are our 5 words. I said, now what we're going to do is we're going to take those 5 words, and every single point in this message is going to come out of the central words: out, death, life. And we're going to have Austin and our creative team take that sentence, and it won't look like the sentence is changing, but the word's going to get bigger. And out's going to come out. And we're going to talk about out, how all of us need a way out. We're all looking for a way out. And we're talking about death, and how death encapsulates all of our fears and all of our doubts and all the uncertainties. But we're actually all searching for his life. And I said, the word's going to just start illuminating differently. So they're going to have a visual story of the story we're telling through the auditory mechanism. And so we just create the talk right there and said, and then there's going to be a verse that's going to be cut in the top half that says, why are you looking for the living among the dead? And we wrote that whole talk. And
that was not a whole talk. I don't know what you just did there.
What do you mean?
You painted with air.
It's the structure for an entire message.
The concept. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you base, like, where do you start? Where do you finish?
Well, I mean, one, I knew it was Easter.
Yeah.
So the passage that was coming through my mind, echoing, was, why are you looking for the living among the dead?
Right.
And so we're trying to find a 5-word sentence that could encapsulate the principle or the truth
5?
around
Why
that.
not 6? Why not 7?
Because I saw 5 in my imagination, and because that's what I saw on that screen. And so, yes, it's very subjective. There's an artistry to it. There's a design to it. But it's even true when I write the book. I mean, sometimes Elisa will say, "Hey, they made an edit. The sentence went from 9 words to 8. Are you okay?"
Yeah.
And because she knows after all these years that the number of words in a sentence actually matters to me.
Right.
And so when I'm writing a book, I'm not just writing random sentences. It's not just the words, it's the cadence of the words and the number of words in that sentence. And And sometimes I'll go back to him and say, no, you can't do this. This sentence has to have 7 words, or this sentence is designed for 8 words. And
They must hate you, honestly. Like you always complain about the publisher, but I just wonder what they say when they go home and they're like, I'm working with an insane person.
I'm comfortable with my insanity. And if you cannot hear the music behind the lyrics, don't try to rewrite my song.
Okay. We have gone off on a tangent. I love you so much. I'm so proud of you for finishing this book and getting this thing done. It has been a laborious project of getting this thing finished, and I'm really excited and I'm proud.